So our home was built in the early 70s, and when we purchased it a few years ago, not a lot had changed from the 70s. We had check carpet, we had swag lights, we had dark wood paneling. The house was basically a little time capsule. So when we purchased the house, we knew we were going to have to do a lot of work to update it and make it what we really wanted. So I think like most people, when it came time to hire an electrician, there was a little bit of nerves. We didn't know anybody personally. We hadn't worked with an electrician in town before. So we went to some of our friends and said, hey, who would you recommend? We had looked online on our own, and there's tons of people that say they can get the work done, but I know not all of them are gonna do it the same way. So I wanted to get a personal recommendation before I really went out and started looking for someone. So I went to White's website, looked at some of their reviews, and decided to give them a call. When Clay first came out and looked at our house, he made some recommendations about some things that we hadn't even thought of, and made recommendations not only on placement of lights, but kinds of fixtures that we should put in. And then when he walked away, he gave us a quote, and that was the quote for the job. That was the quote for the scope of work. So unless we changed the scope of work, this was the price for the project. And it was very reasonable for the amount of work that really had to go into bringing up some of the rooms in our house. They called the schedule with us, and it was really easy. When the guys were on their way to do the install, they called us. When they got to the house, they put booties on their feet to make sure our carpet stayed clean, that the house stayed cleaned. When they did the work here in our dining room, they covered everything with plastic, and they vacuumed. And when it came to placing the lights, they double checked and triple checked with us, like, do you want the light here? Is this where you want it to be? So they made sure that we got what we wanted out of it. I would absolutely recommend White's to anybody that's getting any electrical work done in their home, because what they did from start to finish was professional. And I felt like they treated our house like it was their house. Incredibly clean, incredibly efficient, and the price was very reasonable. And I don't think you can ask for much more when you're looking for someone to work in your house.